Hello, fellow soldiers in the army of people that are uprising. And is this going to come on? Oh, it was muted. Let me get back in my spot. I just want to apologize for this mess right here. This is a stack of books. Some of them have been sent to me. Some of them I bought on my own. Some of them I will never read. I use them for reference. If you could see, okay, you can see this much right here. If you could see the rest of this place, you would be disappointed in me. But let me say this. I am cleaning this place up slowly. Hey guys, let me say this. If you are in the chat room and you have a wrench, I want you to eliminate anybody that smells like a troll. We will no longer tolerate trolls. I meant what I said. They're welcome to listen, but they're not welcome to interrupt our day, okay? But since we are talking about trolls, here's what I do want you to do, trolls, okay? Please keep making videos about me. Please, I'm asking you nicely. Please keep writing articles about me, okay? And if you send them to me on my Facebook, I will share them on my Facebook page. I already have, okay? I just want to thank you and just ask you to please continue doing that. Just let me know. I don't really look at anything that you're doing. So unless you post it, unless you send it to me, I don't know that it's going on and I can't share it. And I want this information to get out to as many people as possible. See, the thing is, your case and your side and your argument is so weak that when people hear it, that this campaign grows. So please, I'm asking you. And I don't know anybody's name, okay? I have no clue. I think one of the guys' names is Mike Dice, but I'm not sure. It's probably a fake name, but I don't know. It could be a real name. So please keep writing articles about me. Please share those, make those videos, all that stuff. I'm asking nicely, okay? I know you don't like me. I know you're not happy with me right now, but if you could just do me that one favor, is keep doing what you're doing, okay? You're doing an amazing job. Your arguments, your videos, your everything is so weak. It is only helping our case. So the growth that we've seen and the exciting things going on behind the scenes are just amazing. Guys, here's the thing. I'm a busy guy. I'm a super busy guy. And I've got a lot of things going on. I'm working on films. And the enemies that I'm making by doing this campaign are nothing compared to the enemies that I will make with the next film that I'm putting out. Just plain and simple. So I hope my enemies don't get together, okay? I hope they don't figure out that there's other enemies, other people out there that don't like me. And please tell my mother-in-law, okay? Where should I start? Where should I start? I don't even know. I don't even know where to start, guys. So many things I want to share that I can't share. So many amazing, awesome, good things going on with the campaign. And here, yeah, what I was getting ready to say is I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm making a film. I haven't had time to make my film because I've been launching this campaign. And this campaign is taking on a life of its own. And I did not think it would tie up this much of my time, but it has. So here we are. We actually do have a little bit of time, okay? I'm kind of trying to space my films out. And if you don't know, this is my newest film. It's called This Is a War. And it's about spiritual warfare. And it's about secret societies. And it's about saving babies and it's about hip hop, Christian hip hop. It's about sleep paralysis and so many other things. And it's about the emergent satanic church. It's about, I don't know. Go watch the trailer if you want to know what it's about. Maybe I should play the trailer on this broadcast sometime. So that's the film that I just made. This is the old film. I say old, but it's actually still, that's not right. That's the old case. It's the information is evergreen. It's called Detestable. This is the film about satanic ritual abuse. Okay. And just because we have new listeners, you might want to know, what is this about? What do we do? Where are we from? Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, guys, counting on you to keep an eye on the chat room and keep everybody calm down over there. Psalm 94. I want to read this whole thing, but let me just jump right in here at verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against evildoers? Unless the Lord has given me help, I would soon have dwelt in the silence of death. When I said my foot is slipping, your love, O Lord, supported me. When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought joy to my soul. Who wrote that? Is that a psalm? It doesn't say. I was going to say, is that a psalm of David? I don't know. But the psalmist is asking the question, who will rise up for me against the wicked? I think we know. I think we know who's going to rise up. It's you guys. It's you guys. You guys are going to rise up and you're going to do what you've already been doing. You're going to share the memes. You're going to spread this thing like a disease on the satanic elite. And we are going to reveal the truth like never before. Thank God Almighty. There had to have been God's hand in the releasing of these videos and these testimonies of these victims, of these children. I do not know what happened in the heavenlies to cause this to happen. But I do know that we have been praying for years. We have been praying for years in a project that I was involved with Russ Dizdar with called Project Josiah. Okay, and go back in a time machine and check that out. One of our slogans was worldwide strategic intercession against dark powers. And we had people all over the world that were praying in their area, and they were on the ground. And I know somebody specifically that was in Europe, in that area. They were in France, and we know somebody that was in Germany. I can't think of anybody. I used to have a map up with everybody's location on it. And we're going to do that with the Legendary campaign here real soon. So, so anyway, I had a map up of all these people praying all around the world about exposing dark powers, about just exposing these cults and what they were doing, and for whistleblowers to come forth. And I have to believe that had something to do with that. So, I mean, I'm telling you what, guys, once we started Project Josiah and we asked you guys to pray, and I wonder if there's anybody in the chat room this morning who remembers when we started Project Josiah and those old audio podcasts that Russ Dizdar did, and he was calling people, hey, sign up, send an email in here. We had a ton of people. I remember we reached over 100 people, I think, involved in that worldwide. People in Australia, people in Japan, people in South America, people in Africa, people all over the world saying, I'm involved. And man, I got emails from people that were in the midst of the Middle East, deep in Muslim territory. And they were reaching out and asking for help, and just, I don't know. I met so many amazing people, but thank God Almighty that those testimonies, those videos of those kids were released, because when I saw them, and when I saw the innocence, and when I saw just the truth revealed in the only way that a child could, in their innocence, and you could tell that these kids were telling the truth. They began to talk about things that nobody else knew about unless they had experienced them. They began to describe things that only someone who had been abused, sexually abused, who had been to a ritual would know. They named names. You know, so many people that are survivors are afraid to name names until their abusers die. You know, so many people have a struggle with getting healing until they know that their abusers are dead. It's true. It's true. And it takes years, 20, 40 more years for some people to come out. You know what? I don't blame them for a second, because of the horrific thing that they've been through. Do you guys remember the podcast that came out last December of the guy who blew the whistle on some information about McMartin preschool case and confirmed things? I don't remember what that podcast was called, but I've got it saved on my phone. But and the guy, he still wouldn't give his name. And he was threatened that if he spoke, things would happen to him, things would happen to his family. And this is what happens. And they will threaten you in this way. And I can't imagine how these kids were terrified. And they kept this secret and the things that they saw. And finally, you know, by God's grace, and it's amazing that it happened in the way that it did. It really is. It really is. So, guys, I found some. Well, I've been looking at for a while some other stuff, and I like to review it before I put it up on the website. What's going on here? Okay, I already did that. Will you leave me alone? Leave me alone. Okay. So, just for fun. Wow. So anyway, guys, if you're new, if you got a wrench, get rid of these trolls. We will not tolerate them. We've put our terms out there, and they're unwilling to meet our terms, so we're done with them. Okay, so anyway. Where we at? I'm gonna share something here in a second. Okay, guys, I want to bring to your attention, and I'm gonna put these links up on the website. Okay, and I've been researching. I've been looking at this case for a few years, but I've never looked as deep as I have in the last 4 or 6 weeks. Okay, and the deeper that I go, the more truth that you find. Okay. I mean, that's just all that's just, I don't know what else to say, but I want to share this website with you. And the, basically you're going to have to go to the, to our page within the next day, and it's going to be added up there. So, but this, I do not know who runs this or who put this information together, but I've been looking at the judgment of the judge, okay, who is Justice Palfrey, okay, in the UK, and I don't believe that she's serving in that position anymore. But Here's the thing. I mean, on the surface, this judgment is ridiculous. Okay. And I was wondering, I'm like, how did this justice make this decision? Because it doesn't make one bit of sense. Okay. When you look at the evidence and you learn that there was never an investigation, they never ask any hard questions. They never, far as I know, interviewed the teachers. They never photographed them or looked at them or examined them in a forensic type way to find out if these tattoos were present. They never went to the school and did a forensic analysis. None of these things. None of these things. Why didn't they lock down that school? Why didn't they put police tape up? I don't know. Here's the thing. And I'm not picking on the London police, because there were people over there. There were people over there that were saying, this is real. This woman is telling the truth. These kids are telling the truth. I don't know what happened to them. I do not know what happened to them. I would really like to talk to some of them. I really, really would. And so anyway, how did this justice come to this conclusion? Well, when you read the actual judgment, which is, I don't know how many pages long, but it's a line by line, and she gives all these reasons why that she did this. But let me show you. I'm just going to go here real quick, and we'll take a look at this website. So the Hampstead judgment contains basic factual errors, and I could go down through here. James Robertson published this. Okay, so this is James Robertson's website. The Hampstead judgment contains basic factual errors. I don't know who this is. Maybe we can get this guy on the show. I would love to talk to him. Somebody has went through and looked at the judgment, okay, from Justice Palfrey, okay? And we're just going to take a look. We're going to take a look together at some of these things. So, let's take a look at it. Okay. And for the sake of those, I'm deciding, excuse me, where I want to go. Let's just go right here. The Hampstead judgment contains proven falsehoods and cannot therefore be valid. Period. Okay. I love that the evidence that those people would hang on. And here's the thing. You read this judgment. You don't need this commentary. You don't need this information. It looks like Swiss cheese. There's so many holes, okay, in this. So, guys, a few weeks ago, I asked you to familiarize yourself with this case. And I realized that, here's the thing. You guys are researchers, many of you. You look this stuff up. There's not enough time to do all this stuff. There's just not enough time. And there's so many things that we're involved in. And you've learned the basics, okay? You've learned the basics and you've reported on them. And if anybody wants to go further, I'm going to give you some links and some places where you can go further and get deeper in to the evidence, looking at the judgment, okay? Because don't forget, a proper investigation was never done, and there are so many details to this case, okay? There are so many just small things, and when you look at them isolated, it doesn't make sense. But when you look at them in the big picture of things, it makes sense. Just like when the mother jumped out a window and ran from the police. This really happened. Okay, I remember seeing the video of this, of the police knocking on the door and threatening them. Okay, so, and this has been a while ago. My memory could be very foggy on that, but there's so many details that don't make sense. Like, why did they flee the country? Why did they flee the country? And I have no doubt, and I had no doubt then, that they fled the country because they wanted to get their kids free. And they felt that if they were in jail and they found out that they were turning the tables on them, Okay, the same thing happened in my film that is presented in my film Detestable. Back in the 80s in a small Ohio town, they tried to do this exact same thing to a pastor and his wife at a church. Okay, the story is in the film Detestable. So, guys, I'd spend too much time setting stuff up, but let's get into this. The Hampstead judgment contains proven falsehoods and cannot therefore be valid. Okay, as seasoned cover-up merchants have long known, the best way to conduct a cover-up is to get on the front foot, seize the initiative, and present essentially inverted narrative where the perpetrators are the victims and the victims are perpetrators. As the Americans might put it, the best form of defense is offense. And so it was that Justice Palfrey, announcing grandly and unequivocally on the first page of her judgment that this is an amazing statement, you guys. This is an amazing statement. I find it difficult to say this, but these are her words on her judgment. It says, I am able to state with complete conviction, wow, that none of the allegations are true. I am entirely certain that everything Miss Draper and her partner, Abraham Christie, and the children said about those matters were fabricated. The claims are baseless. Those who have sought to perpetuate them are evil and foolish. Justice Palfrey, Hampstead Judgment, page 1. These sentences quite simply cannot possibly be true. Now, guys, here's the thing. I could, right there, I don't even need to read this commentary, but just reading her statement, reading her words on this judgment are incredible. Okay, I'm going to read on. Because I want to get through this and I want to get you guys some information, okay? A profound and simple problem. The judgment is not factually correct and should be considered invalid on this basis. The judgment is not factually accurate. It makes claims that are provably false and must therefore surely be perceived to be entirely invalid because the foundational assumptions that underline Justice Palfrey's interpretation of events are not factual in basis, and this can be simply and quickly proven. The factual error that proves the judgment is without validity. On page 21 of the judgment, in reference to the police interviews, Justice Palfrey writes that fact number 142, as emerges from the interviews themselves, both P and Q, that's the children, did indeed withdraw their claims, all of them. Okay. The justice states without equivocation, yet when the recording of the police interviews are re-examined, it emerges that witness G, in fact, never did retract his claim to have been sexually abused in the disabled toilet of the local swimming pool. Please note that the judgment is very specific and definitive. Withdraw their claims, all of them. The record of the police interview actually indicates the contrary to the judgment's claims. Witness G never did retract his claim relating to the sexual abuse at the swimming pool. It did not happen. So the claim that the judgment makes and one of its underlying foundations is factually incorrect. Okay. You can't see me, but I'm taking a drink of coffee. Let's go on, okay? And if anybody wants, let me look here. Let's skip down here. And you guys, I'm going to give you guys this link, okay? And let me see up here at the top. SabineMcNeil.pressbooks.com is the website. So I'm going to put that up. It's kind of a long web address to actually do. To put up there. 6 affirmations and a lone victory for witness G over his bullying interview. Okay, at this point, the child achieves a lone victory in this interview. He actually wins the argument. He has the final say. The interviewing officer is defeated and so returns simply to the safe ground of the previous retractions. The topic is dropped at this point and never raised again. The claim was quite simply never retracted, and there is no possible valid reason for the police officer completely dropping the subject upon his failure to elicit the quick retraction. He was transparently seeking for which there cannot possibly be an innocent or honorable explanation. It is really that simple. So, okay, this is speaking about details that we did not cover, but you can find up here. It is pertaining to an incident, the swimming pool affirmations. I don't want to get into all that, but maybe I will. Let's back up. Let's back up. What the heck? We got time. I mean, what are you doing? Interviewing officer, tell me about the swimming pool. You told me lots of people in the disabled toilet sexually abused you, unstated. Okay, male witness starts nodding his head as the policeman is speaking despite the officer's sublimating tone. He nods repeatedly. Yeah. He says, nodding vigorously and stammering, yeah, that, before plainly stating that's true. Remember, he is in retraction mode. He has made several retractions, so he is clearly not under the spell of the mother's partner, yet he is absolutely unequivocally, that's true. Nodding vigorously, repeatedly, repeats it. That is true. I make it at 5 affirmations right there between the stammering yas and that's true. Repeated twice unequivocally while nodding. So the officer, in line with his tactics, okay, guys, this was an agenda. This was an agenda. They interviewed him twice. They didn't get the answers they want. And then they went in with an agenda to get these kids to recant. And they had a hard time at that, but they were able to succeed, except for this right here. It says, so the officer, in line with his tactics throughout the interview of September 17th, tried to talk the victim out of the allegation for whatever reason, stating incredulously, even though you said you was only 4 and hadn't been to that school, as a student, unstated, indicating his disagreement with the officer's assertion. He's not saying it did not happen. This is another affirmation, as the boy's words indicate. No, they had, like, they were friends. Is it a bit garbled? Teacher I knew named gargled and exercised from my teacher I knew from a sister who was in the school when I was 4 years old, meaning he was not there with the school, but his friends, including his older sister, who it seems was at the school. He was clearly affirming the veracity of the claim, even in retraction mode. Interviewing officer, so all right, what we'll try to do is sort out what's true and what's not, at which point the subject is simply dropped. Never retracted that. Never retracted that. The repeated mantra of intimidation. Prior to the witness breaking and offering a nonspecific blanket retraction, the interviewing officer repeated his mantra of intimidation. Look, if you haven't been telling the truth, if you have been telling lies, it's okay. Everything will be all right as long as you just tell the truth now, okay? The implication of this is unmissable. The message is quite simply, change your story now or you will be in big trouble. So the child on numerous occasions exceeds to the intimidation, as is completely naturally given the maturity and power difference between the protagonist. 2, it is worth mentioning that the children have been living in foster care for 6 days at this point. There was an intense vulnerability. The father was still allowed Skype contact, which was given the gravity of the allegation certainly seems extraordinary. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. These kids at this age were in foster care, okay? And they were not allowed to see their mother. They had no hope of ever seeing her again, okay? And again, I don't know the details. Maybe they were allowed to talk to her on the phone. I have no clue. I have no clue what was allowed. But I'm telling you, one day one day for kids like this, and would be enough to break them. It would be enough to break an adult, okay? Especially with what they've been through. Blanket retraction, coerced, and therefore legally worthless. Although witness G did not allow himself to be bullied into a semi-blanket retraction, none of it was true. After repeated bouts of obvious and inexplicable intimidation from the previously empathetic interviewing officer, the context in which the blanket retraction was made, combined with the bizarre manner in which the interviewing officer simply dropped the subject of the swimming pool sexual abuse entirely when he was unable to bully and coerce a retraction from witness G, and it never resurfaced in the witness G interviews. His final police interview mean the blanket retraction is meaningless. It was extracted through unethical and transparent intimidation and can be safely and completely discounted on that basis. The only rational conclusion that can be drawn from this pattern of behavior is that persons unknown tasked the interviewing officer to achieve retractions from the witness. Nothing else can possibly account for the complete lack of interest in the swimming pool allegations once the quick and easy retraction was not forthcoming from witness G. Okay. Let me come back to you for a second. Guys, the interviews are out there. Okay. Many interviews by the mother and the boyfriend. Interviews. Then you can see the interviews by the police. Okay. And when you watch the first interview by the police, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, it seems to me that the interviewer was trying to get the truth. And he was explaining. Now, okay, let me just talk for a second. He was explaining, okay, do you know the difference between a lie and the truth, you know? And the children communicated that they knew the difference. And they began telling the same stories. Okay? They began telling the same stories that they had told without missing a beat. Complete, what am I trying to say? Just in sync with each other. They interviewed them separately, telling the exact same stories and saying, yes, this is the truth. I know what the truth is. Okay. Now, I've seen the interviews so many times, and it's hard to remember timeline and where each part goes. But I think maybe even in the same, in some of the first or second interview, the interviewer, man, can't remember this guy's name. Let me pop back over and see. So anyway, he even asked them, okay, how do you know that? How do you know that? Which I thought that was good questioning. I thought that was really good questioning. And they had to give an answer. And there's no way that these answers could have been scripted. Okay? Because he was asking details about when his mother would drop him off at school and the father would show up at the school, and they would say, how do you know that they were talking on the phone? He said, I know my dad's voice. That was my dad. Yeah. You know, and they explained the whole setup and how the mother never knew that the father, Ricky Dearman, was going to the school and abusing the kids and involved in all this stuff. And the kids gave great detail when asked off the cuff questions like, okay, how do you know that? And many times the interviewer would say, how do you know that? Okay. How in the world? And I've said this before, How in the world would the kids know what the inside of the teacher's house looked like? How would they know what blood tastes like? How would they know about some of these other details? If they were trained, if they were taught a script, they would not know. They would not know how to answer them. I'm sorry, but it would have only taken one interview. If those kids were not telling the truth, it would have only taken one interview for them to recant, period. That's it. Okay? But they didn't get the answers they liked. They knew probably this is what happened, and this is what we know happened. Probably some important people were involved in this. Not probably, I'm confident. I'm confident some important, powerful people were involved in this. So they had to quiet this down, and they had to shut this down. Thank God that the mother did not hand over all of the interviews, and the interviews got out there, because we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. Guys, this happened for a reason, okay? This happened for a reason. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do? I believe, just like in Ezekiel chapter 8, that God wanted this revealed. You know, I tread carefully, because the thing is, people make some pretty grand claims, okay? But I talked before about the prayers of the Prayer Armory or the Project Josiah, and the things that we did. I think we did some amazing things. And we used to say our thing was on the 15th day pray. So that was just a little slogan that we came up with, because Bohemian Grove was on the 15th of July, and we would ask people on the 15th day pray. And obviously pray every day, but we would come in unity on the 15th day of the month and pray. So as I'm talking about that right now, let me remind you guys, today's Wednesday. On Saturday, we're going to ask you on the 13th day pray, okay? And we want to pray every day, no doubt. Russ would say on the 15th day, pray more. In other words, pray every single day. Yeah, we know, Russ. But on the 15th day, pray. Today on Saturday, let me take this break. I believe that our prayers were instrumental in breaking out so many of these cases, okay? And there's been many cases, and I have a presentation that I do where I kind of go through many of the cases that made the news, okay? I can't remember names. Maybe one day I'll do it on this show, but I did it at Take on the World, and I reveal this stuff, and I did it at Mike Spalding's church. So, and yes, I will come to a church near you to reveal this if you want. And I'm working on a Hampstead presentation, by the way. So what the heck was I talking about? Yeah, Saturday. So, guys, where are you at? You can get involved. You can join us, even though you won't be where I'm at or where we're going. You can pray against dark powers in your city. You can praise God. You can lift him up and worship him, and just see just strongholds defeated, okay, and darkness exposed. God has been so faithful to answer prayers and to do these things, and we prayed for a long time. Lord, expose this stuff, and he gave us an amazing gift. And it sounds kind of crazy to say that because of what had to take place, okay? But thank God, even though What happened to these kids was horrific. Thank God that it got revealed. Let's not let them be abused for nothing, guys. Okay? Let's take this and let's say no more. Guys, do you know, I don't know if I can find this, but do you know about the Dutch banker? Sorry. Let me see if I can find this. I should have had this ready before. So I don't think, yeah, this is not going to be, I'm not going to be able to find the exact moment because it's a long interview and there's a point around 30 minutes where, let me just say this. I can't find the guy's name. Roland Bernard. Okay. And the interview is not in English. So look up the interview of Roland Bernard, and about the 30-minute part of the video, the whole interview is about how he got recruited into these with these elites to do this money laundering and stuff like this, and he got pulled deeper and deeper into. And so let me just show. I'll just show this. I won't play the video, but I'll show. We are talking about fine. I'll show the picture, and everything is. You remember that case with the Italian lira? I sometimes. Sorry, guys. This is not a good place to look at this, but I'm going to share this so you guys can see what he looks like. Okay. And this is the guy right here. Okay. Roland Bernard. And he talks about exposing a banking cabal with links to Satanism and child sacrifice rituals. And they were pulling him in. Okay. And you can kind of see, can I turn this down? You can kind of see he gets real serious, and he tells his story about being involved, and he gets real dead serious because he was seeing, they were offering him sex and they were recruiting him in with sex, and it was an amazing thing, he thought, you know, and then they would take him in a little bit deeper. And then he got to a place and he saw that they were killing children. So let me see if I can find this. Let's listen to a little bit of this, okay, guys?
So now we are talking about Satanism.
Yes. So I visited these churches just as a visitor dropped by, and then they were doing their holy mass with naked woman and liquor and stuff. And it just amused me. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, and was far from convinced if any of this was real.
It was just a spectacle to you.
Yes, in my opinion, the darkness and evil is within the people themselves. I didn't make the connection yet, so I was a guest in those circles, and it amused me greatly to see all those named women and the other things. It was the good life. But then at some point, I was invited, which is why I'm telling you all this, to participate in sacrifices.
Watch this.
Abroad.
Watch his face.
That was the breaking point. Children.
You were asked to do that?
Yes, and I couldn't do that.
Would you like to stop for a moment, by the way?
No. And then I started to slowly break down. I lived through quite a lot as a child myself, and this really touched me deeply. Everything changed. But that is the world I found myself in. And then I started to refuse assignments within my job. I could no longer do it, which made me a threat.
Think this guy's telling the truth?
I was no longer capable of functioning optimally. My performance started to shake and I had refused tasks. I had not participated. The purpose of the whole thing, eventually, in that world, is that they have everybody in their pocket. You need to be susceptible to blackmail. And blackmailing me proved to be very hard if I look back on it. They wanted to do that through those children. And that broke me.
Is that, you are not telling me something new, what they also do in politics?
If you Google this, you'll find enough worldwide witness accounts to know this isn't a Walt Disney fairy tale. Unfortunately, the truth is that worldwide they have been doing this for thousands of years. I once studied theology, and even in the Bible you find references to these practices with Israelites. The reason the first 10 tribes were banished to Babylonia was because of these rituals with children, including the sacrificing of children. So this is pertinent. All this made me believe, because I realized there was more to life than meets the eye. There is a whole invisible world. It is real. You really do talk about a dark force and a manifestation of light. So, I resorted to studying theology to make sense of it all.
And psychology as well, if I remember correctly?
Yes, but that I did in my first life, because through commercial psychology, mass psychology, I was able to manipulate situations for my own benefit.
Okay, guys. All right, guys. I think that's enough. Think that guy's telling the truth? Think that guy's telling the truth? Why in the world would he make it up? Why in the world would he make it up? Interesting. It's hard to follow up that. Guys, this is bigger than Hampstead. This is bigger than Hampstead. When you watch that interview, that guy, in the part, I mean, it's a 40-minute interview. It's a lot longer, but that's the part where he talks about he was taken to a place and it was probably lots of free sex, lots of naked women. And he was like, he said, this is the life. But then they took him to a place where children were being sacrificed. And that was the breaking point for him. Somebody said in one of the chats somewhere, satanic generational Satanist is a myth. Satanic ritual abuse is a myth. Okay, whatever. Next, seriously? Okay, so you don't believe it. That's cool. Next, we're not trying to reach you. We're not trying to reach you. But guys, can we reach the believers? Can we reach the Christians? Can we reach the sleeping giant of the church? How many of them can we reach? And I throw this challenge out again. In 1 year, in 2 years, where will we be? I'm excited. I'm really excited about. Somebody wants my email. projectjosiah@hotmail.com is where you can reach me. projectjosiah@hotmail.com. For some reason, for some reason, my email's not up on the website anymore. I don't know why, but you guys, many people have been finding it lately. Or maybe it's on there and I can't find it. So I got to put it back up there somewhere. But anyway, projectjosiah@hotmail.com. I forget what I was saying. Guys, can we wake up the church? Can we reach the church? Can we get a message to the church that the Bible is real? Can we get a message to them that Ezekiel chapter 8 is real? And that it's still going on, and that children are witnessing, are being witnessed to it, and they're testifying about it, and that this banker's testifying about it, and we have people, we have a movie full of people that are testifying about it, and many, that's a drop in the bucket. Those three things that I mentioned, that's nothing. I showed you a box of books yesterday, and that's the books I showed you yesterday. There's many more that I don't have because I can't afford all the books. And some of them are out of print and hard to get a hold of. And where the heck is the heck happened to my G.H. Estra Brooks hypnotism book? That's supposed to be in that box. Thinking out loud. So, guys, can we get a message to the church? How many will listen to us? How many will join us? How many will join us in the campaign? I don't know. How many will join us in prayer? That's what I really, really want. How many will join us in prayer? Yes, I realize the end is coming, but we don't know when. So let's fight evil. Let's rise up against the wicked. Let's give the survivors and the victims some hope. And in order to do that, we got to do a lot of things. And here's the thing. I was getting ready to say something stupid. One way that we can do that is to blow this campaign out there. Guys, I'm telling you right now, I don't even need to say this, but I'm losing money every day that I'm working on this campaign. I honestly am. And I'm not complaining. But I am volunteering my time, and it's going to be, by the time this is done, by the time that we launch this, it's going to be 6 weeks of lost work that I've had, probably. That's not a complaint, okay? I don't care about that, but I want you guys to know that this is not part of our regular thing. But praise God that He's allowed me this opportunity to do this, okay? So it's all good. It's all good. But you guys getting involved and helping out and spreading the information in it, and I've just seen amazing things. Can we get to the church? I think we can. I think we can get to some people, and maybe that needs to be part of our prayers. Lord, show us who are the ones. Help us get to the ones that would care. Help us get to the ones that would join our ranks, that would be touched by this information enough to say, you know what? I'm going to join you in praying for the exposure of covens in my town. I don't know how it's all going to play out. But I'm confident that they're going to come after me. They're going to come after you. I'm just going to be honest. But I'm also going to be honest and say they can't do anything unless God allows them. We got to stay in God's will. We got to hear His voice. We got to move under His command, and He's going to protect us. And if they take us out, woohoo! We got to slide out the side door, okay? And then it's going to be left to whoever's here to fight this, right? Can we reach the church? Can we reach those in there in the body of Christ who are sitting in a dead church, who are bored out of their mind. You know what I can say? I can say that the listeners of this show are not bored because we got a lot of work to do, right? And it's exciting. Okay? I mean, how exciting is it to get attacked the way we've been attacked in the last week? Okay? It's not always fun, but how exciting is it? And I don't do this so I can get attacked. I would rather not. I don't want, to be the target of these hit things. I mean, the cool thing is it's helping us. So, I mean, there's that. But so anyway, guys, can we reach the church? Can we send a message to our brothers and sisters in the UK saying that we hear you? We know you're not allowed to speak about this. We know that you're being threatened with jails and fines and being taken to court and being raided and having your computers taken and being threatened to not talk about Hampstead. We know that. We know you're not allowed to post pictures. We know you're not allowed to see videos. This show, if it's not already, will be banned in the UK. I guarantee it. I guarantee this show will be banned in the UK. I hope it's not. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't give guarantees because the thing is, God, God can do amazing things, right? And there's ways to get around that stuff. But here's the thing, guys. Can we send a message to our friends, to our family? I've been over there. We have family over there. To our family in the UK and in Europe and anywhere where they're not allowed to talk about this. Can we say, guys, we're here for you. We know about what happened in your community. We know about what happened to your children. And we're going to stand up and we're going to scream about this so loud that this incompetent police force, that these judges who are competent in only siding with the cult can hear us. Was there something else I was going to talk? I wanted to go back into some of that evidence again. I don't like to go much over an hour. We're coming up on an hour right now, but I know some people are late tuning into the show, and so some things we repeat just so we make sure everybody hears them. But I do want to say again, if you're late to the show and you happen to be a troll or you happen to not like me, please remember we are asking you to continue to make the videos, continue writing the articles. Please do. And here's the thing. I'm not watching what you're doing. I could honestly care less. But if you do make a video about me, go ahead and send it to me. You can send it to my email, projectjosiah@hotmail.com. Or you could just put, Facebook, whatever. Some of you guys got my Facebook stuff. You know how to find me. I'm out here in the open, not hiding. Okay. If you could go ahead and send that to me, and I will post it to my Facebook or wherever. Long as it's not too crude, right? But your videos have done an amazing job of helping our campaign. And your side is so weak, your argument is so weak that it's just increasing what we're doing here. And I cannot underestimate the value of you for what we're doing. So please, please don't stop what you're doing. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you to continue to attack us. It only helps us. So, and again, I thank you. It's really been amazing. So, and yes, no, I'm not going to deal with you. Okay. We put our terms out there. That's that. But anyway, enough with that, guys. I think we can do amazing things. I don't care if you sell a shirt. It's easy. Honestly, it's easier for me if you just go make your own shirt. Okay. And you can do that. All right. I honestly don't care if somebody makes up a bunch of shirts and sells them. Okay. Him, just like we did, legendary campaign, leading people back, whatever. I honestly don't care. It would be easier for me if somebody else would do it, because I am so consumed with work, and this campaign has taken a lot more time to try and get these cards out. By the way, we've gotten 10,000 of these made up, and we're waiting. I just got the email that the t-shirts are coming in, the wristbands are coming in, and all the packages are going to be going out no later than Monday. Okay. So they're going to be coming out. I think most of them are going to be probably priority mail or first class. So you should get them quickly, and we'll give you instructions on what to do afterwards. But we're going to run out of these cards, and we're going to have to get more printed. My only hesitation is I don't know how many to get. It's either going to be 20, 30, 40, or 50,000. I don't know. We're going to need a lot more. Okay. And that's a good thing. And we're going to put you, we're not going to put your address, and we're going to put you on a map and show people where people are. Okay. We're going to put a dot on a map. That way people can see where these cards are going. Okay. And they're going worldwide. Yes. They are going to Europe. Yes. They are going to London. Yes. Several different, matter of fact, I spent a lot of money yesterday on 3 different orders to different countries across the pond. So I can't wait to see a picture of one of these cards somewhere in London. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. So anyway, I lost money yesterday. Okay. But it doesn't matter to me. Again, we have donations. People have been incredibly generous. So that makes up for that. Okay. It's no big deal. But I just kind of mentioned that because I've been accused of trying to make money, and it's just simply not true. It's just simply not true. And I love it. And I hope they keep making those articles and those videos, because the argument is so weak. It's not even funny. And the more they lie, the less credibility they have, and the stronger, our campaign gets. So, and the cool thing is, even though I'm talking about it right now, they're not going to figure it out. They are not going to figure it out. I don't have any problems saying the things that I'm saying. So that's the cool thing. But anyway, guys, let's intercede. Let's pray. Let's ask God to guide us. When you get these cards, I hope you pray over them, and you just ask, Lord, help me to get these into hands of people who don't know about this, and that their eyes can be open to the truth, and that we can stand up for the crimes that were committed. Not only the 2 that we know about who have witnessed, but other kids. There were so many other kids that were abused. I can't imagine what they're going through now. I can't imagine. So it's a line out of a song. If anybody wants to know, it's just, guys, I got to come up with something every day for a title. Okay. I'm not as creative as John Pounders. So it's just an imaginary thing out of a song lyric. Okay. And it has no real meaning. So somebody's like, what does Dima mean? Dima don't control us. It's a song about like this fictional city about some kind of what would you call it? Government system, some dictatorship government system that is trying to control this group of people. So it's actually a song by 21 Pilots. I can't think of the name of the song. I think it's called Nico and the Niners. Okay. So that's that. Anyway, that's what that means. Every time I look at I want to edify you guys. Right. And, people ask questions, and then it's like, if I don't answer them, that might be the only opportunity. They're going to be going for days. Like, what the heck does that mean? What does that mean? So, and sometimes I make this stuff a little bit too tricky, but there's always a purpose behind it, guys. So anyway, guys, thanks for being involved in the campaign. And I just want you to know that I am actually stifling my excitement right now. And if I got too excited, I don't know, you guys would think that I'm crazy. So my enemies already think I'm crazy. That's okay. So does half of my family. Okay. But you know, hey, we're all crazy together, right? So, guys, amazing things are happening. What you see here is good, but some things are happening, and you will find out in the coming weeks about the next things that are going to happen in the campaign, and it's going to take us to new levels. And honestly, it's kind of getting out of control. And I've got to organize some things. I got to work on some stuff, and I've got some other things that I'm going to be working on today that I'm going to need you guys, your help in spreading. So, with that said, I need to get to work. And I just appreciate you guys so much. Throughtheblack.com is the website. TheLegendaryCampaign.com is the website for the campaign, or that leads you back to the campaign. So we have some other .coms that are coming out very soon. More things are happening. So guys, pray about the case. There's a list of prayer needs. One of the things that I want to ask for prayer for are our friends and our family on the ground in the UK. There are people that are sticking out their necks and putting their name on the line for what happened and speaking up. And they're getting in trouble for it. These guys are heroes. These guys are awesome. There's already been tons of heroes. And I think we're going to see a powerful uprising in the UK. And we want to let them know, hey, we're behind you. We're going to do what we can. Even though we're far away, we're going to make a noise about this. And guys, I love you. I thank you. I pray for you. God bless every single one of you. And we will see you tomorrow. Okay. Goodbye.